Hi everyone, we are here to talk about getting good with AI. Now, I've spent the last couple of years, like many of you, being curious about these technologies that could potentially change or are being promised to change our lives in lots of different ways, and also getting scared and overwhelmed by the downsides of AI. But I've learned that connecting with people like Cien, who are on the front line building with AI and helping others, that the possibilities and the impact is really significant. However, it requires, like all things, real work and changing some of our behaviors. So it's not an overnight thing that can change everything, but it's something that can really help all of us. And so Cien and I are coming together after running a few sessions, 1 hour sessions, to put together an exciting new course, which is all about helping you get good with AI tools so you can change your behavior and help have a bigger impact and grow your business. So Cien, before you show us an example of the kind of thing we're going to be doing on the course, what is your perspective on how, when you've been helping, hundreds of people build with AI over the last few years, why the adoption of these new tools is actually taking a bit of time, or at least to get beyond ChatGPT prompts?
Yeah, I'm really excited about this. Before I share my thoughts on that, I'm Cien. I've been building and integrating AI solutions into businesses since probably around 2017, 2018, back when ChatGPT wasn't still a thing. Adoption, even before, has there's similarities to the speed of adoption before ChatGPT and now. And that is actually the understanding that you have to start small and iterate as you go. So before ChatGPT, when you would talk about AI solutions within the organization, your stakeholders would my stakeholders ask me, is that actually artificial intelligence? Is it machine learning? It seems like the build phase is so long. But then after, even a year of building it, the moment it's released, you could actually see the upside. So, and it's the same now, people expect the world out of generative AI, that it could do magically everything for them. And two things happen. It disappoints them, or they don't trust it, or both at the same time. So because they don't trust it, even if they see that something's happening, they still don't adopt as quickly to the technology. But then sometimes they give it a try and then it doesn't do everything for them. So they also abort and stall their adoption.
And on top of that, it's a change in behavior, right? We have to change behavior, which even for the more entrepreneurial amongst us, we still resist. It's like as a human. So this is what we're focusing on, because actually, as we know, since the advent of ChatGPT 4 especially, it really did start to make a lot of us go, wow, the processing speed the large language models can give us around complex problems or research or writing in a different way, and now building these agents that can start to operate some of our systems is really profound and exciting. So that's why we're here. We're here to help you change your work behaviors in a positive way with these tools, to actually understand some of the build techniques and some of the different models, and actually to get things done. So that's what we're going to do on this course. So as a quick behind the scenes, Cien, before people think about joining, what's one of the builds that we're going to be looking at on the course?
So the build that we'll be showing right now, which I'm actually really excited about, because this is a pain point for me as a fractional person who does contracts and proposals for other businesses. Sometimes I lose clients because I don't send out a proposal quickly enough. And sometimes I forget as well, what details about what to send. So the tool that I'll be showcasing now is how I can turn a transcript or meeting notes that I'll be taking live into a proposal in a minute or 2 minutes. And let's say I've had 5 meetings today, how I can turn those 5 proposals into 5 Canva decks in under 10 minutes.
And this could easily be doing, because we know a lot of people, and I certainly have this, if we have a bunch of meetings and then we're like, I've got to do a load of follow-ups. Now, not all of them might be sales pitches or partnership pitches, but often there's some element of we're trying to help get that conversation to the next level to move our business forward and in line with our goals. So this can be applied to all those kind of challenges of lots of meetings and lots of information. So shall we role play this now?
Let's do it. So these are my lemonades. I've got loads that I use for different tasks. And today we're going to be using my transcript to slides lemonade that turns transcripts or notes into a Canva deck in an instant. So let's say I've got my meeting transcripts here. I've got 5 that I prepared. All I have to do is copy this, paste it in my lemonade, and send it. So I didn't have to prompt. I didn't have to think of giving it context. I didn't have to say the slide deck should have this and this and this and this. I didn't have to give any context whatsoever. All I had to do was feed the actual transcript, and now it's produced my slide contents for me.
How does this particular AI know? Have you given it a bunch of instructions before we came on this call?
So how Lemonades work is that you pre-build an AI assistant or agent. You can feed it with your previous proposals. You can give it system prompt, or what we call it. A system prompt looks like a prompt, but you think in systems, like moving forward, this is how my AI will work. You can also use memory, enable memory for your Lemonade. So it's got deep context about your work and it learns over time. So
great. So essentially there's a setup at the start, which is obviously what we'll be showing everyone on the course for whenever I do a proposal. This is the strategy, this is the guidance. And so when you're coming again for the second time or the third time or the fourth time, you drop your transcript in for the meeting and it immediately puts together your proposal or your pitch deck.
Exactly. Like you can see in the introduction, it's got my information, what the executive summary is, what's in scope, pricing, and next steps. And now I'm ready to either email this, or if I want to make it look pretty, I'm going to go to Canva. I'm going to use their Canva AI. And then all I have to do is put together a slide deck for me with the following contents. Paste that information and send it over. And now Canvas magic is happening. Under a minute, I'm going to see my slides here ready for me to tweak a little bit and then send it over to my client.
And presumably as it's generating those visual options here, if we've already got our brand ID built into a Canva account, then you can say, please use my brand, my type font, my colors, my logos as well.
Yes. You can also feed it in the AI. You can prompt Canva with your hex codes, your font type, and so on and so forth.
You build the consistency. Nice.
So
and so you've already got your slide deck there ready to edit and go out the door. If you're
even got my name. It's got it twice, so I'm gonna...
There's two versions of you, which is true when you're building with all these AIs. We're in the matrix. So, Shen, let's imagine we don't have that transcript. So I have a scribbled bunch of notes. So I don't know, should we do that? Like, how would you turn that into a smart proposal?
Okay, so let's say we're in a meeting then, and you're my client. So we're gonna do a little bit of role play. I'm gonna ask you a few questions, let's say 5 questions, and then that's it. And then I'm gonna send you a proposal right after. How does that sound?
That sounds impressive. Let's go.
Let's start with your goal. What is your biggest goal for this year?
So at Rebel Book Club, which is our non-fiction membership club that we run in 10 cities around the world, our goal this year is to grow our membership to more cities. So we're currently in 10 cities. We'd like to double that this year.
And how are you?
6 months, once we saw that starting to succeed, we could invest £2,000 to £3,000 a month in that project.
Amazing. Thanks, Ben. That's all my questions for now. I'm going to be sending you a proposal in the next 10 minutes after the call.
Thank you, Shan. Look forward to it. Start the clock.
Okay. Let's start the clock. Okay, so I've just fed my AI the notes that I've taken while we were on the call, and I expect this to either ask me some clarifying questions or put together the proposal for me. Actually, it's put together the proposal for me. So introduction, Rebel Book Club, expanding the community, focused on growth. The goal is to expand to more cities and double membership this year. Currently, growth is hampered by manual processes and difficulties in identifying onboarding new hosts. Executive summary. This proposal outlines an AI-driven solution to streamline the host recruitment and onboarding process for Rebel Book Club, facilitating expansion to new cities, doubling membership within 6 months. This will be achieved by automating key communication tasks, matching potential hosts with suitable locations, providing them with the necessary training and support. What's in scope? Development of AI system to identify potential hosts within the existing membership base, an automated system to match potential hosts with optimal new city locations based on factors like member demographics and interest, AI-powered training materials and resources for new hosts, covering best practices for running successful proposal in detail, answer any questions and finalize the project scope.
It's happening. So this is great. So what feels great about this from my point of view is obviously the speed of you, as you're going to share this back with me, right? Quite quickly. It's the speed of capturing the content from our conversation and turning it into a proposal, whether it's written or in this case, as we're doing now, visual. I think the question that brings up for me straight away is like, oh, this is great. But then there's also going to be, and this is what happens, right? There's going to be a next step because I'm then going to come back and say, this sounds really exciting, Shen. Like, cool, you've got your nice little slide deck there already. This sounds really exciting. How are we going to acquire those new members in those cities as my new AI marketing partner here? And that's going to require more data, right? So the point here is that we can go as we know what happens with sales proposals is there's back and forth and there's like, oh, we've got more questions before I commit to like spending that money with you. And so at each stage you can quickly iterate on this stuff rather than having to keep editing, going back forward. So that's why it's exciting.
Absolutely. And the AI that I built, the Lemonade, knows my skills. It has very deep context of what I do and what I can do. So almost 90% of what it'll produce matches what I can actually offer. So it basically removes that risk of it coming up with a proposal that is out of my remit.
Exactly. So Shen and I are going to be running this course to help people who, like myself, who have been really interested in using these tools, but sometimes feel a little bit overwhelmed or don't know where to start or feel like they're getting left behind, to really focus on practical business everyday needs. So whether that's pitch proposals, whether that's some of your operational stuff around diary management or dealing with your inbox flow and all that kind of stuff. And you can look at the course and see what we're going to cover. And in our Friday lunchtime sessions, which are live, we'll walk through with you and you will build at the same time. Shen, is it just briefly at the moment, can you share about how Launch Lemonade works? Because that's going to be the platform where we will be doing our work together.
Yes, but not only Launch Lemonade, we'll also cover a few other platforms that you can use to actually scale your operations, your business. But Launch Lemonade we call it the Canva or Shopify for AI. So what Shopify did for e-commerce and Canva did for design, we want to do it for AI agents. What we've built is, if you're familiar with the make.com or N8N, if you want to add knowledge bases, memory, other tools with your generative AI of choice, you have to connect them, manage different APIs, and manage different costs. What we're trying to achieve at Launch Lemonade is bring all these capabilities together, and our builders will just have to press buttons and type in English what they want to happen, and it happens. So it's a very simple tool to use where we've aggregated 21 language models from image, voice, to text. Our users can customize it with deep memory, with knowledge base, and integrations.
Great. And shock horror, ChatGPT isn't the only large language model out there that's particularly good for helping lots of different things. So this is what we'll be doing on the course is Shen will be introducing different language models and how they can integrate together, like we just showed in the example with Gemini. And not just Gemini or Claude, but what version of these models are good for certain tasks. And that will build your confidence in knowing how to make decisions about which models to use, as well as your skills of putting your hands on and getting to build with them. So that's what we're doing. Join the founding course of Get Good with AI. Spend 5 weeks or at least 5 Fridays with Shen and I on a live Zoom, and we'll go through in detail about each of these builds and make sure you get the support you need. And you'll come out the other end with a lot more skills and confidence on getting good with AI. Anything else to add, Shen?
No, that's it. The best models are always the best models for the task. It could be an old model that you want fast. So yeah, and we'll cover all of that.
We'll get into it. All right. See you soon.
There's like a breeze through the trees, feeling mellow. Sip lemonade or what a light to follow. Chasing dreams under the warm golden glow.